I've had quite a few friends call me and say, you should definitely improve your security. I'm like, that's probably a good idea. This is an election that I think, frankly, is a fork in the road of destiny. It really is. So it's essential. We need safe cities, secure borders, sensible spending. I mean, basic stuff. Obviously with Trump, the great thing is that we have a real individual who is not beholden to anyone, and that's what scares the machine. Journalism is dead. Like, what the heck is going on? It's bizarre.
Is freedom of speech truly alive in today's world? Elon Musk discusses the significance of citizen journalism, the flaws of traditional media, and his vision for a transparent platform driven by the people, like X. In an era overwhelmed by misinformation, he stresses the importance of individuals sharing unfiltered, real news and engaging in discussions that shape society, from artificial intelligence to the economy and the future of education. Musk also touches on border security and government spending, warning that without serious reforms and greater efficiency, we may be heading toward economic collapse. But beyond that, his message reflects a broader concern.
So I think first of all, in terms of people sometimes ask, like, where would you start with government efficiency? It's kind of like being in a room where the entire room is targets. And so you can shoot in any direction and not miss. It's like just impossible to miss because every direction is a target. Now, we do have a fundamental issue, which is that the government is spending far more than it brings in. And the reality is that all government spending is actually taxation. All government spending is taxation. Sometimes people think some of it is taxation and some of it's not, but it's all taxation because the part that is not covered by tax revenue becomes inflation. So you're either taxed directly or you're taxed via inflation, but you are for sure taxed. and so all government spending is taxation. So we have to reduce government spending overall. Like this will be forced upon us in the future because already just the interest payments on the debt are 23% of all federal tax revenue. Just the interest payments. The interest payments now exceed the Defense Department budget, which is $1 trillion a year. That's a lot of money. So just the interest on the debt exceeds what we spend on the military. Just the interest. And that is rising rapidly. We'll trim a little bit here and there, but that's not going to work. There have to be quite radical reductions in cut. And the Department of Government Efficiency happens. We're going to be very open and transparent. This is the math for what's being spent and what and if somebody's got a better idea for how to make the spending lower, tell us. But if we don't, we're going to bankrupt the country, and so we got to do something, and it's got to be some pretty big moves. I mean, I do think like that because it is from a time when, in order to learn any news, you had to aggregate the news to some central publication, and then some editor would decide what people should hear. But you obviously don't need that anymore. You've got the internet, so anyone can learn anything at any time. That's why X is the future. It's citizen journalism, where you hear from the people. It's by the people for the people. That's what it's all about. This is a super big deal, and it's absolutely fundamental and transformative. The news and what the narrative and what matters, and that media is basically controlled by a handful of editors-in-chief. That's it. They decide what's going to get published. That's why I really encourage everyone out there to write stuff on the X platform and other platforms too. But citizen journalism is the future, and that's where you get to hear from actual experts in the field, people and you get to hear the rebuttal. So if somebody says something that's wrong or requires more context, X has got community notes, which is great. Got a very good batting average. It's not perfect, but it's got a very good batting average. And I, many times I've gotten requests like, can we get rid of this community note? I'm like, no, we cannot. Not even a community note on myself. So with community notes, all the code is open source, all the data is open source, so you can recreate any given community note independently. Too often people do a university or college thing for 4 years, and it's unnecessary. And then they accrue a lot of debt. and it's hard to pay off the debt, and they often don't learn skills that are very useful. So it's not, I think we should really reconsider whether, in general, you're supposed to learn useful things. It's to improve your understanding of the world and learn skills that can help you contribute to your fellow human beings. But very often, the university does the opposite, in fact. It will propagandize kids and not teach them anything useful, and just saddle them with a lot of debt. What really matters is, are you doing something useful to help your fellow human beings? Are you contributing more than you take? And if you are, that's a great thing. Now, we are headed into a pretty wild future here with artificial intelligence and robotics, say 10 years from now or more. We're going to have, the world is going to look very different. I think it's 80% likely to be good, the glass is 80% full, I think we'll probably have a situation which is universal high income, actually. Not universal basic income, but universal high income. And there will be no shortage of goods and services. That is what I think is most likely to occur. And we need to make sure that this AI and these robots are on the side of humanity, obviously. James Cameron made a couple movies about that.
In this video, Elon Musk presents a critical and bold vision of the future of society, the media, and the economy. His insistence on the need to reduce public spending and reform the government structure resonates as an urgent call. At the same time, his support for citizen journalism and his defense of freedom of expression reflect his commitment to greater transparency and unrestricted access to information. Musk offers a perspective that encourages reflection on the role of technology and artificial intelligence in shaping a more balanced and efficient future.